Joe Alt, more importantly, Joe Alt's mom on the show. She's not really on the show, but we talk about her quite a bit. We have the offensive lineman who one lucky quarterback in the NFL is going to get to work with every day. Lunch pail, fruit snacks, fruit gushers, and all. Michael Penix Jr. makes an appearance on the show. I talked about the questions about his running ability. Why didn't he? Did he make Rome? Did Rome make him? It's draft day. It's a celebration, and it really just boils down to me being excited for one team and one team alone. It's here! I'm not in Detroit. I'm here in LA. It looks so fun. The vibes are the highest ever. The draft always outdoes itself, which is why we love it. And we have great guests on our show. Thank you to all of the teams, meaning not the NFL teams, but the PR teams, the agent teams, the marketing teams, the brand teams that we've worked with over the past couple of months to secure the best prospects. And it was so great and such an honor to get to meet them and hang out with them. Thanks to our booking crew, of course, MH and John, for putting this together and working so hard. This is really unbelievable and something I'm really proud of. All the producers, graphics, we're coming up with segments and animations and all sorts of crazy stuff. Kat for making it all work with these post-tape interviews. It's incredible to have all of those guys, and now we get to champion them on this next level. Today is all about celebration. We have talked the draft to death for months. The numbers, the figures, the science, the hip swivel. Today, draft day. It's just time to celebrate, baby. Let's enjoy. Let's be, and enjoy literally means enjoy. Let's be present in the joy of the moment. To me, no other fan base, as I sat yesterday and was thinking about what do I want to even talk about this morning. We've talked it to death. Where do I want to go? It really came down to Chicago. No fan base deserves the euphoria, the swell of current optimism, the enjoy than the Chicago Bears. This is the moment, okay? From down and out to up and Caleb Williams, you, Chicago fans, have paid the price for this moment. How does it feel? We are 18 years removed from that run to Miami to the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 41, okay? 39 years. 39 years removed from Ditka, the glorious 1985 season. We are 74 years, over 7 decades removed from the last first-team All-Pro quarterback to wear a Chicago Bears uniform. Hey, Johnny, wearing number 32, dead in center. He's got a smile on his face. He didn't think that would not happen for another 74 years. And then there's Caleb Williams, who will take the stage tonight in Detroit, hold that Bears jersey, say hi to Roger, and I believe, search over, okay? Up, up, and away. I'm in. And this is not me saying I'm expecting this to all happen year one, though why not? I'm saying I'm all in on this draft, this thing tonight, continuing to welcome, because Poles has been doing his thing, continuing to usher in an era of Bears football that Bears fans can revel in, okay? I want new Bears tattoos. I want, like, new vibes here. I want, somebody to have a DJ Moore jersey in 10 years, and it'll be a throwback that we all remember took him to the NFC Championship game. We are there. I cannot wait for other teams to hate the Bears, to dread having to play them twice, twice, 3 times in the playoffs. I grew up in Chicago. I have 2 nephews and 2 nieces, okay? So 2 nephews from one brother, 2 nephews from one sister. The boys are Packers fans who got lured to the dark, dark side by Aaron Rodgers' Hail Marys long ago in a galaxy far away called Appleton, Wisconsin, okay? They're goners. They're gone. One of my nieces, the older one, is a Chiefs fan, okay? She's like 8 years old, and now it comes down to one. I want you to meet my 2-year-old niece, Natalia. She doesn't know what's going on yet. I mean, she's got an older sister. Sure, Chiefs fans have 2 rings, and Travis and Taylor and all of that. The competition is tough. But this is your opportunity, Chicago. Natalia, who lives in Chicago, who's got a sister, Chiefs fan, and a brother who can't seem to get these kids to be Bears fans, okay? She could be the cool kid in school rocking that Forte throwback. I think it can happen. This is the opportunity in front of you. And Caleb, it can't all be on his shoulders, okay? We got to wrap our arms around this Shane Waldron guy to make this happen. And it's not even just him in this draft. This is a culture-changing draft. What happens at 9? Huh? Do they get another weapon in Rome? Do they trade up and swing for the fences for Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't know. My mind would explode, but I hope they do. GM Ryan Poles, stay as aggressive as you've been here. Because as soon as they're off the clock at 1, people, they are on the clock to make it happen during Caleb's rookie window. I love the moves so far. I love the position the roster is in. I love what Caleb is walking into. But those Lions, they're not going anywhere, and neither of the Packers. So this is Ryan Poles' front office cojones 5,000 time, if that's even a thing. And cheers to Bears fans. Like, I don't even know what to say. We know long winters in Chicago, okay? The L stops running. It's crappy. It's hard. We know decades of long winters in Chicago. Nothing is better than the first day of 65-degree weather with mostly sunny skies ahead. And that's what I'll say. And I will say this, Hamilton, like, I know I'm being a little emotional about it. I'm just excited for these fans. And of course, I had to bring my cute little niece into it.
I mean, I think it's okay to be emotional. You're allowed to be emotional about, the place that you grew up. And as you mentioned, all the things that fan base and that city have been through with this team. It's a huge day. It really is. And
Mike, obviously Bears fans are like, oh, you left the Bears and you've got this Bengals helmet. That's right here. And I get it. They did something, this team, organizationally, culturally, okay, that got me in. And then they got their Burrow. And then they made it happen with the chase. Do what they did. And they're doing it. And it was more from a top to bottom thing. And you can ask Forte, you can ask Devin. It was more of an organization thing. And now we are in a place where they're letting things fly a little bit more. Again, I'll hedge my excitement a little bit because I think obviously it's the first year and all of that. But you look at C.J. Stroud and you look at, you look at Jordan Love. Let's effing go. Let's effing go. And by the way, speaking of culture, it's not just this draft. Even like Aaron Clark, this communications PR staff dropping this gem on us yesterday. I cannot wait to see this new building rocking with Caleb. This is setting the tone like Caleb Williams, come to mama. Okay, come here. I can't wait to see this in the next few years. It looks incredible. Lakefront Stadium. I don't know the ins and outs. Carmen Vitale was all over it. We'll have her on in the offseason to sort of figure it out. But this is an exciting moment for this fan base, and it's long overdue. So I love you, Chicago.
It is. And I don't know if you noticed, there's a little Super Bowl logo in the end zone in that last one. So could Chicago be hosting a Super Bowl sometime soon with this new stadium? That would be pretty freaking cool, too.
I love it. Enjoy it. All right, Hammy, we're blazering it up for the big day. I love it. Listen, there's a little subplot to this draft that I'm going to keep a close eye on tonight as well. Okay, there's trade rumors for vets, and they're starting to pick up. They're swirling around, a whirling Darvish of rumors, okay? But will we get like an A.J. Brown, Randy Moss, Jerome Bettis type draft day blockbuster this year? Let's start with Cincinnati. What the F, Cincinnati? What are we doing? According to Shefty, star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, a maniac in his own right, he's requested a trade because he's looking for more long-term security than what the Bengals have been willing to offer. Schefter also pointed out that the T. Higgins trade request is still active, even though T has said that he anticipates being a Bengal this year. Let's talk Trey for a second. And by the way, I reached out to all my Bengals people. I have not heard back, and that does not make me feel good about this. It's all in the balance, in the tumult. So Shefty puts out this report. In addition to that, Charlie Clifford of NBC in Cincinnati, shout out, he's also reporting that Trey told his coach, Zach Taylor, yesterday that he will pull a Gronk and say, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. He'll retire if the situation is not resolved via trade or an extension. So that's a very hard line, very clear communication from Trey. When you really dig into it, I'm going to hide this. I don't blame him. How can you blame him? He's 30, but he's still on an upward trajectory. Have we seen the best out of him? I don't know. Look at this list. Only Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt have had more sacks than Trey over the last 4. He set a career high with 17.5 this past year. He's earned an extension, especially when you look at the state of his current deal. He has 2 years left for $38 million, exactly $0 of that contract. No money, nada, zilch, nunca. Like, nunca is never, I think, not none. Okay, nothing. Nothing is guaranteed. So if God forbid anything were to happen, he gets squat. Bengals. He's a huge part of your team, critical piece. And as I've said before, this is the window. What are we doing with the window? Like, you got to find a way to work with him and get him some more security. He's got to feel good about this, and there's got to be a way to figure it out. And if some other team, could be getting a start tonight or two. Like, I don't even understand what they do. Like, what if they, you know, if things take another turn with T, what are we going to do with these things? They've also got the situation with San Francisco going on. Let's pop to that before we go. Like I said, we have Joe Alt on the show. And we have Michael Penix Jr. Where might he go? I say in the top 10. We'll get to that. There's something happening. There's a lot being talked about with Brandon Ayuk. A lot. John Lynch spoke earlier this week. He was throwing ice cold water on the rumors. Let's start there.
You know, BA, I've communicated on a couple occasions, on many occasions, our wish. And our wish is that he's here and a part of the Niners for the rest of his career. You know, we're working through that. And, you know, as such, you know, I was a player once and I never liked my business being out in the public. And so I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to speak for their side. I can say we're having good talks and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay, so the GM does not want to move Ayuk. BA and his representation have a role in this as well, though, of course. It's important to point out here, Lynch declined to answer whether or not he's given Ayuk permission to seek a trade, and I thought that was really interesting. And at what point does an offer become too good to pass up for Lynch, right? Teams are going to be trying and buying. Patriots, Jags, those are teams that keep popping up, right, on the old radar. I'm not closing the book on it happening yet. And while the idea of guys like CD or Justin Jefferson getting traded might seem far-fetched, like, do we not remember? Have we learned nothing from the A.J. Brown trade? Did we see that one coming down at that time either? No. They're both in similar situations, honestly, to A.J. in 2022, aren't they? They're entering the final year of their deals. They're due a whole lot of Skrilla, and they want massive extensions. It's the same situation, right? Neither one of them particularly close to reaching said deal. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not going to close the door on any of that. So while this is a life-changing night for all these prospects, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those things happen with those veterans in the NFL as well. Okay, it is draft day. We've got Joe Alt, Notre Dame tackle. I had to, you know, I was like when that pregnant woman is on the way to the hospital and she has to pull the car over and just have the baby in the car. That was me with Joe Alt in our interview. I'll explain after this. Is Nunca never? Oh, I thought, what is none? Nada! Matthew Hamilton.
Hello.
Hello. I think before, just the read before, not hold off. It's no. I just want to. We can just do it right now. Before we talk about the new stadium. So before you come in is the end, and then I think the beginning is. I just want to be clear on what the beginning point of it is. Is when I say we've talked the draft to death.
Yep.
Okay. So can that be
that's perfect.
Can that be the clip? And I think the caption I would like to see is something along the lines of.
Here it is.
Do we give away that it's the Bears? Like it's all Bears this morning. All Bears all day or something like that. Just something celebratory.
Okay.
Do you have any? Are you excited about today? My pants are cool.
I am.
Thanks. They're cool. Do you wish we were in Detroit? I bet you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a cool little. I
don't know why I don't. I'm okay with not being there.
Yeah. The one thing, I get to keep up some of my. The one thing it's nice, I get to keep some of my draft traditions going. One of my best friends growing up, Steve, I've watched like every draft with him that I haven't been at. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I know, Richard. Thank you. I am a nerd. We know. We all know.
Oh my God, isn't nerd what Chet Hunter says on Boy Meets World all the time? Nerd!
I think so.
Oh my God. It's all coming up, Chet Hunter. It's all coming up, yeah. Hey, I really like Joe Alt.
Yeah. He was
Joe
really
Alt to me,
likable.
you guys are going to see my interview with him, and don't look at me and it's a disaster, but just focus on him, which is all that matters. But he's just the kind of guy he's so offensive line it hurts, Like he's quintessential. Like
From the movies he likes.
Yeah.
The food, we'll get into all of it.
It's good. What's the sound? Oh, yeah, okay. Sound out of break. Okay, let's do this, guys. Can you guys have Jordan text me a watch now, like watch now so I can retweet it? Like, give me the link.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely George Pickens. His mask on, just standing there looking at the TV. It was a total George moment.
I would have to say Kayvon Thibodeau. Man, the way he just felt the presence from New York Giants as like he went on the stage. It was just the excitement that he had.
Probably when Andrew Booth got drafted last year. We were close my freshman year in college. He was just like a mentor for real.
I mean, like Marcus Mariota, like with his family, I can still remember that.
It has to be Brett Favre or Baker Mayfield when, you know, that guy, I think one of his cousins played a prank on him. I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I grew up a huge Jags fan, and my dad went to UCF, so when the Jags drafted Blake Bortles, my house went crazy. So I vividly remember the night that the Jags drafted Blake Bortles. It was a fun night for the Reed family.
Love that. Thrilled that we got to meet so many of these prospects. Their lives are changing today. Their journey is continuing. Wishing them all the most luck, and I hope they enjoy every moment. Now, it's draft day, and we're going to share some bold predictions later. This is not going to be one of them. I think everyone agrees and everyone knows that Joe Alt is going to hear his name called pretty early. I spoke to the two-time first-team All-American tackle out of Notre Dame about where he's potentially headed, potentially blocking for his hero Aaron Rodgers growing up, and who's the all-pro pass rusher that he cannot wait to line up against. Take a look. You chose to go home to train. It's kind of rare. It's kind of cool. You slept in your childhood bed. You had a Notre Dame comforter. What is it like going through that process at home?
Yeah, being able to be at home was what I wanted and was most important to me. I have a very big family and have been gone at college for a while. Being able to come back and spend time with them and the people who, you know, I love and have supported me so far, you know, where I've gotten to, I felt like I had to go back home and be with them. I was able to get great training in where I was and got to spend time with my family. So that's why why I chose that.
Is the comforter making the trip to your next NFL city?
No, that's a good memorabilia thing. That'll be staying on the home bed. It's just like, why fix it? Or it's kind of there. So we didn't put a new one on. That'll be staying at home. That's not coming to the next location.
What's the one thing about playing at Notre Dame, which is very special, obviously, bright lights, a lot of pressure. What's the one thing that you would say prepared you the most for this next stage?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I was able to kind of see and I think overcome was having a lot of different coaches and understanding different coaching styles and being put in, you know, different offenses, having different coaching styles, how they coach you, you know, they're going to be hard on you. They're going to kind of let you do your own thing. So I think that was the biggest thing I took from it, the people, how they did, like how they treated me, how I was coached, met different faces, a lot of different faces. So kind of that preparation of how to, you know, jump into any kind of environment and be able to go and talk to somebody and, you know, kind of learn from them.
What's it been like going through this process? You're at home, you love your family, but you don't want to see anything. You're like, I don't want to see the mock drafts, Titans, Chargers, whatever. But your mom is like in the sauce. Like she's into it.
Oh, she's in it. Yeah, she's in it. My mom loves it, and she loves just kind of like checking in. I've been telling her for like 3 months now. I'm like, Mom, we're not going to know until Thursday night. Like that's just not we're not going to know anything. And I just keep telling her that. She's like, well, this one said this or this said this. I'm like, Mom, if that's what the GM coming out and saying something, it really doesn't matter. Like it has no like effect if some random person on Twitter said something. Like, I'm sorry, I know you want to know, I want to know, but like it doesn't not going to give us anything.
Joe, where does she think you're going?
Oh, she doesn't even know now because I put it in her head where like I'm like, Mom, I don't know where I'm going. So if you know where I'm going, then you're even further off. So we have no idea. We're just kind of gonna find out tomorrow.
I love this whole thing for you. And then of course there's your dad. The draft is here. Everybody's looking for player comps. You know, and the comp that you've given yourself is your dad, who's a two-time Pro Bowler, Chiefs Hall of Famer, of course, John Alt. I'm sure he's giving you a lot of advice along the way. I don't want to get into that. What about your game do you think is similar to your dad's, who also, by the way, played tight end like you did and moved to tackle in college?
Yeah, I think our physical structure is obviously similar and the kind of way we bend, just because, you know, that's kind of how I was raised, the same athletic abilities, things he worked on, I worked on. So like kind of same bend we have. I think just overall how we move. We move a lot, very similar in how we move. We kick and slide. He had a lot bigger upper body than I did. He had really big shoulders, and I think that's like one of his best traits. He looked huge up top. I don't quite have that yet. I aspire to have what he had, but he was very much upper body bigger than me. So that's what I'm trying to kind of aspire to, and then I feel like I'll look just like him when he played.
Listen, according to Pro Football Focus, Joe, you allowed 1 sack in 740 pass blocking snaps in the last 2 seasons at Notre Dame. Joe, how could you let that 1 sack happen?
It wasn't ideal. We try to be perfect, but you're not always going to have it go your way. It happens every once in a while, but you go back, watch the film, learn from it, and try to get better the next week. That's how it always goes.
Joe, do you know who went and watched the film of that sack?
Who?
Me. I went and watched. I'm trying. Listen, you're Captain America. There's no holes in you. You can do everything. You're the most versatile. You don't do one thing better. Like, you're amazing. I went back and I go, ha ha. He let that handsome quarterback get sacked. What went on there? This sack is crazy. Like, the sack in question against Duke, I'm calling BS on PFF. Duke runs a stunt. You pick up your man, and the linebacker slips off his block and sacks. He steps up.
Hey, it is what it is. You move on. You can't always disagree. You learn from it, like I said, and you try to get better and not let it happen again. That's all I can say about that.
It's a good answer. We always ask pass rushers, who's the quarterback you want to sack in the NFL? Who's the guy your part? Who's the defensive end? You got to name one, just that you're looking forward to. Who can you not wait to block in the NFL?
I mean, there's a lot of very talented defensive ends out there. I'm always a competitor. I love going up against the best, and there's a lot of great ones out there. If you want me to give you one name, I'll say Myles Garrett. I think he's really special in what he does. I think his ability to dip, his power game, his speed game is, up there as one of the best. And that's kind of the guy I think I would love to compete against.
We talked, and that's a good name. One of my favorites, one of the best to ever do it. And I think right now the best player in the NFL with Aaron Donald retiring. I just can't wait to watch you in the NFL. I can't wait to see it all happen. And I have this weird feeling that there's more that you can do. Like, you were recruited as a tight end. You only started 1 game in high school on the O-line. Within 3 months, you're the starting left dude for Notre Dame. It's crazy. You made it look easy. How many more levels are there to what you can do?
Yeah. The biggest thing that I like to focus on is just taking it one day at a time and continue to get a little bit better every day. What's one thing, in my game, who I am as a man, what it is, what do I got to get better? And that's how I kind of carry myself and try to do each and every day. So my goal is just to continue to get a little bit better every day, every game, every week, whatever it is. I don't look, for big jumps happening in one day. It's just I got to continue to just knock it off a little bit, work more, work harder, get that one thing that I got to improve on, feel a little better. And that's kind of how I focused on it. So, we'll see how the future holds, but I'm looking forward, just like I said, continue to work each and every day.
Because you're perfect, and it's a joke that, like, you allowed 1 sack that wasn't even a sack. If you're making a to-do list of things you want to improve what's at the top of that list?
I always have one for the run, one for the pass. In the pass, I always want to improve my strike. I think when you punch somebody, you can alter their rush and their whole plan in their head, and I think that's really important. And being able to kind of take the fight to a defensive end is something that I want to get better at and continue to improve as I play. And in the run game, just always being able to be in the best position, and that's leverage-wise, getting as low as I can to be able to use my leverage against him once I'm underneath him. So I think those are 2 things I'm always trying to work on.
How are your hands, Joe? Are you ready to be an eligible receiver in the red zone in the NFL?
I mean, I played tight end in high school, so I do have the ability. I didn't catch a ton of passes. I was a glorified tackle at tight end, but I got a couple. I mean, I got decent hands. I think I had 1 drop my senior year.
Did you play a little QB back in the day?
I did. That was pre-growth. So that was me, like, about 6 foot, 200 pounds. I was, smaller, younger Joe. But, I was able to sling a little bit. But then, I kind of grew out of that, and it was like, all right, tight end for a little bit, offensive line.
I need you to throw a quarterback in the NFL. You grew, you eat a lot, you like food. Notre Dame sent you on a street food tour of New York. You gave specific number ratings to hot dogs, kebabs, bacon, egg, and cheeses, all of that. You gave those a food rating. So we thought you rate a couple of things at a very specific altimeter scale here. I'm just going to be personal, from 0 to 10. What rating would you give your own guacamole that you make?
Ooh, 8.7. That's fantastic. I got a really good spin to my guac. If you have had it, you like it. If you haven't, I don't want to hear it. 8.7.
That's what you should say in those meetings. You're like, hey, Amy Strunk, you're the owner of I bring guacamole to the table.
Yeah, that's what I should say. I bring a great recipe for guac. That's what I'm gonna start saying.
Most important. An ice cold beverage, 0 to 10. Hello?
7.8.
Oh, 7.
I was thinking. I was thinking. Sorry, I was processing. Yeah.
7.8. Yeah, I heard you microwave cold beverages. You're kind of weird.
No, okay. You gotta. What? I don't microwave cold beverages. I used to. All I'm saying is, if I'm going for a glass of water, I don't want ice in it because I want to be able to drink it as fast as I can. I'm not like looking for a hot beverage. When I was a kid, yeah, I might have microwaved a cold beverage once or twice, but that was when I was a kid, not since I've grown up a little bit.
0 to 10, potentially blocking Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I mean, that'd be a dream. Obviously, one of the best out there. I'm giving it a 9.4. I mean, yeah.
You're here on behalf of P&G, a company I love. I've done plenty of partnerships. They're so involved and brilliant partners of the NFL. And you've got some real exciting stuff going on in Detroit. You're not going to make it out of the top 10, but they're putting you to work. And you guys are teaming up with Meyer for the first P&G Draft House presented by Meyer. Tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, so I was able to partner with Meyer and P&G. I was able to come out to Detroit and visit. Kind of big steps coming forward. Moving to a new house, new city, and some of the things you need some quality things. And I think P&G and Meyer are ready for anything. That's the biggest thing. So I grew up a Tide kid, so I used my entire life. My mom always had it. Getting the sweat stains out of all my football gear and basketball gear, whatever it was. So grew up always using that, and it really did tackle any pile of laundry I had. And with Meyer being a Notre Dame kid, Meyer was right on the road. I went there myself, so very important to me. And I'll give a little plug to Meyer. We have shoppers can use the M Perks to save $15 on purchases of $50 or more on P&G products. So I mean, for me, I would definitely be doing that because I'm from Notre Dame and South Bend, right there. So I'd be hitting that up, but it's just a little offer.
Yeah, P&G products like Bounty, Gillette, Tide, like you said. I mean, you grew up in a house of 5 kids. Your mom did God's work with those P&G products, which was amazing. And I think if we're being honest as we end this interview, you really went home in a smart pro tip move. You went home to train for the combine because you knew your mom would do your laundry, right?
And breakfast. Yeah.
And breakfast and laundry, and all you're bringing to the table is guac. Come on, Joe.
Exactly. I know I should be better. She did a lot for me, and I'm really appreciative. But yeah, that was definitely a perk of being at home. I didn't have to do laundry, didn't have to make most meals. She did more than breakfast, and I was able to cook the family. It was great. Great time.
Well, Tide has you ready for anything, and congrats on everything, and good luck in the NFL.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it, dude. I mean, I'm in love with him. I love it. What's not to love? He makes guac. He makes jokes. He I could not have been more enamored by this young fella, big fella, coming into the NFL. He's ready to catch a touchdown. He could throw one. He could be this kind of force. I like the human part of them. Hamilton's here to be, the machine part of him. Where's this bad boy going?
Well, you brought up Amy Adams-Strunk. The Titans are the landing spot that I think we're seeing him projected to most at 7. There's also some smoke around the Chargers, but there's kind of an interesting thing going on Twitter. You talked about it earlier this week. What are the Chargers going to do? What's their identity going to be? They obviously need a wide receiver. Chargers fans are kind of revolting against them taking an offensive lineman. You see here that they have avatars like this on Twitter. The little Ghostbusters canceled out thing with Joe Alt and J.C. Latham, who all of a sudden has gained a lot of momentum to be the Chargers pick at 5. So, I love Alt. I think he's a generational offensive line prospect, but Chargers fans really want a wide receiver. It's going to be really interesting to see what that pick ends up being.
Are you joking? We demonstrated, we gave you guys the oral history of Jim Harbaugh and his trench warfare. That's how he operates. That's what he likes. We all want them to take a wide receiver. It's very sexy. It's whatever. You think this kid sat in a room with Jim Harbaugh and they didn't talk about RVs and they didn't talk about I don't even know, Dockers and what brand khakis they both like. This is the pick. He don't walk. I mean, there's no world where this isn't the pick to the Chargers.
It would make so much sense. I was really surprised too. I know, again, you want that weapon for Justin Herbert. I get it. But yeah, I'm telling you, 1 out of every 3 tweets on my timeline this morning was a Chargers fan complaining about the possibility of them taking an offensive lineman. Yeah. It was wild.
You know what I would like? I would like to not have ribs and shoulder and cartilage and high ankles. I would like those words to not fly out of my mouth every time I say Justin Herbert's in the same sentence, like once or twice this season. And that's what you get with the. I just talked myself out of wanting
really did.
or somebody. I mean, they're clearly, I don't know. I think they're getting like, I think they're getting like Mark Ingram out of retirement to run the ball for that team. Like, I don't know who it is, like Greg Roman's going to call Ingram and say, yo, 22, let's do this. Because it seems to be, sure, why not? Frank Gore, go, like, eat your heart out. It seems to be trending in that direction, and maybe they don't take a white out there. But we love to see it. Are we taking a break or are we doing something else? Let's take a break. We had Bo Nix on the show. Does he go to the Broncos? Eyebrows are up there. Is it a smokescreen? But up next, hey, this is one of the other top quarterback prospects in the draft, Michael Penix Jr. You know what he told me? I'm just ready to play football. Let's get through this and enjoy the night. All right. No, it's fine. No, that was on me. Happy Chicago Bears. Happy Chicago Bears Day. Happy Chicago Bears. Hamilton, what should I say? Happy Chicago Bears. Everything changes. Day. Everything. Okay, what are you guys talking about in the live chat? You can fight wide receiver ones in the 5th round. Okay. Harbaugh's talking up McCarthy to increase value of the number 5 pick. Interesting. Yes, Michael Penix is coming up on the show, guys. We're going to have him. Talked to him yesterday. Chicago most walkable city. No, that would be New York by a landslide. Titans would be great. Yeah. I can't get a read on Tennessee, honestly. Dolly Parton in the background, boobs are bigger than K. Bigger than, like, my face. No. Dolly's gonna dolly. Chargers need defense. Chargers need wide receivers. Chargers need a lot of things. But, guys, they got Greg Roman. Is Greg Roman going to show he's not a one-trick pony? I'd love to see it, but I don't know about that. I have a lot of questions about the Chargers. I would like to know, and, you know, we had Calvin talking about Chicago yesterday, and he pretty much said, I mean, the gist of it was he doesn't really believe in Chicago. Do y'all believe in Chicago? Do y'all believe this is the start of a switch and everything? Let me know. What did you say, Hamilton?
Oh, I was talking with Richard. It's, it seems like Greg Roman's bringing in every one of his former running backs, which is why I brought up Frank Gore. But Frank Gore's son is actually in this draft too. So it is possible.
Who gets taken off the board first, Frank Gore's son or Christian McCaffrey's brother?
Great question. It seems like McCaffrey's brother is trending upwards. I think we're going to see him go.
You think he's going to get drafted?
I think we're going to see him go first. Yeah, absolutely.
But really? There's no world he doesn't
late
get
day
drafted.
2 or early day 3.
Oh, I thought it was day 3, 4.
I think we're seeing him drafted.
Not day 4. You know, day 4. Day 4 is when they sign all the guys who didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
I would say Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, just because of how he carried himself throughout the years. I've never seen him really in anything, and he came into the league just ready to grow as a person.
Probably AJ Terrell, Jalen Ramsey, just because they did it. They've been doing it for a long time. They've been doing great for a long time. So.
For me, it's Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's a player I respect the most in my position just because of his ability to get open consistently and just make plays for his team for a long time.
Ooh, that's a tough one. If I say Creed Humphreys. Creed Humphreys is just an amazing center. How he attacks everything, it's just second to none.
I'm a big fan of Brock Purdy. Just big fan of what he does on the field and also his faith off the field. So yeah, I respect Brock a lot.
Love that we had NFL draft prospects spill lots of questions. Great work on those by the team. We got the Derby next week. We got lots shaking here on the old Up and Adam show. We, of course, talked to a lot of these quarterbacks. It was really cool to have one in studio. We had Spencer Rattler. That was really fun. You saw Reed there. It was very interesting to sit down for a minute in the hours leading up to this draft with Michael Penix Jr. He just dropped that piece with Players Tribune. Why did he do that? Why was he compelled to do that? And I just got this sense, and I think you will hear, he's done. He wants to play. He is ball. He wants to go and play football. And he is an All-American, Maxwell Award-winning Pac-12 champion quarterback from the University of Washington. He's ready for the NFL, maybe more than anybody else. We'll talk about where he'll go potentially after this. But here is my interview with that quarterback. I have to ask you about what happened last year. Take me back to when you're down by 4 in the fourth quarter against Oregon. Cameras catch you freestyling and willing your team back into it. What happened there, and who's that guy?
That's me. That's me every day. That's just my attitude, the way I go about the game, the way I go about my business. Obviously I was serious in that moment, but at the same time, I'm still gonna be myself. I don't feel like I tense up under pressure. If I'm freestyle when we winning by 20, I'm freestyle when we down by a touchdown. We need to go do it. That's just confidence that I have in myself. And just confidence that I had at that moment. That our team was gonna be able to come back. And make that game winning play. And Michael, we were able to do it.
What was the freestyle? Let me hear it.
I don't remember. I really don't remember. It was all in the moment.
You have Deion Sanders tweeting about you. What is that like?
Oh man, it's crazy. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be in this position. It took a lot of hard work to get here. And I've just always been dedicated and always been putting in the work to be able to get to where I'm at today. So I just gotta give thanks to God.
Deion says, overlooked, looked past. This is ridiculous. Why do you think you're looked past? Do you agree with Deion?
I mean, for me, I don't really look at that side of it. For me, I just look at the side that, I just know I'm going to have the opportunity, and that's the biggest thing for me, just having the opportunity to be able to, show what I'm made of, and to be successful. And obviously to get drafted, which is something that I've been dreaming of since a kid. So, I don't really look at, how other people view me and where they view me, because at the end of the day, I know who I am as a person and as a player. And I'll just let that be known by my play. So,
some people will point to 8 rushing yards and they'll say, Michael Penix Jr., not a threat as a runner, not in his game. You, my friend, ran a 4.46, if I'm correct. So when it comes to people questioning you as a runner, what is your answer to that question?
I mean, I don't really listen to it. I just feel like, with all the guys around me, I had so many great players around me, I wanted to get the ball to. And I feel like as a quarterback, I process and I get through my reads very well to the point where, I can get to my 4th and 5th read. And a lot of the times those guys are open. So I can just throw it to my check down, But as far as people talk about me not being able to run and stuff like that, I don't listen to it because I know what I can do, and whenever I need it, I'm gonna show it. And then, I showed it. I showed it in the college championship, in the Sugar Bowl, in the playoffs, and I ran a couple times that game. I ran earlier in the season a couple times for first down conversions, touchdowns. I don't really listen to it. I know what I got in my bag, and everything, all the tools gonna be out whenever it need to be. So.
You had a beautiful piece in the Players Tribune. Love to see that. It was an open letter to NFL GMs. Tell me, to be honest with me, who came up with the EKG line?
Yeah, man, it was an effort by me and my team. Obviously, just thinking about all the things that I've been through and what helped me become the person and the player I am today. I felt like me personally, it wasn't the EKG line. It was like then I wanted to speak about my heart, but I didn't know how to put it in words like that, but, I have a great team behind me to help me put it in words. And I was like, man, that's perfect, So it was like, it was a joint effort, I'm not going to take all the credit for it, but it definitely speaks for me. So shout out to my team.
Shout out to your agent, Reggie, sounds like.
Shout out to my team. he do his thing, man.
Why write it? Why'd you write it?
Oh, man, I just feel like, because for me, I just wanted to write my own story, and just allow other people to step into my shoes and, just see where I come from and all the things I've been through to be able to get to this point that I'm at today. So it's like, that was the biggest thing. A lot of people, they hear the story from the outside. They see what's going on in the news and the media and stuff like that. But, they really didn't hear words from me and, how I felt about the whole situation and all the things that I've been through to get here. So I definitely wanted to highlight that and allow other people to see that side of it.
Tell me about the Sharpie signature combine. And by the way, left-handed, I always used to smear. I used to get yelled at by teachers and all that. Sharpie is iconic. I love that you're partnered with them, and it's perfect.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a high-performance pen. The S-Gel pen is a high-performance pen, and as a high-performance athlete, I feel like, I need that to be able to complement me. And obviously, like I said, I'll be signing my big time contracts with it, and it's a deal that I've been super excited about. They actually gave me a pen with my autograph on it, so that was pretty cool to have. I got a couple of those, so. But it's been great, to be able to be a part of that, and I was working out, doing sit-ups, signing my autograph. We had a whole little deal. Me and my teammate Roma Dunze, being a part of that, and it was definitely it's been special so far.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think that you would say that your receivers like Rome and company helped you a lot in college, and you helped them. And it's not a who made who better, who made who more, special. But I would like to know, how did you specifically help elevate the game of Rome and your other receivers?
I just feel like just highlighting them with the football, that was the biggest thing. Our coach always talked to me about just no foul balls, just giving guys a chance. And I feel like I did that the best out of everybody, just giving my guys a chance, just knowing where to place the football based on the reps and all the time we put into it off the field, off the game field, just giving them position, putting them in position to be able to be successful. I feel like that's what I've been able to do for those guys. But like you said, they helped me too. So,
Michael Penix, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Sharpie. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
We'll see where Michael Penix Jr. lands tonight, and it's going to kick off my big predictions for this evening. Just some things that I think might happen in tonight's draft. Hours away. It's in Detroit, Michigan. I think the vibes will be among the highest. The NFL has a way of outdoing itself year after year as these drafts started traveling. I think it was Philadelphia first, then Nashville. I was Chicago was first. I was always excited to be a part of those. And we'll see where these quarterbacks go. That's it, right? It's going to be back to back to back to back. What's going to happen? What's Arizona doing? All these questions. But this guy you just heard from, Michael Penix Jr., I would confidently say he's a top 10 guy. He's not escaping the top 10. I expect the 4 quarterbacks to be off the board within the first 5 or 6 picks at worst. Everybody thinks it'll be the Vikings that move up for one of them. Denver might get feisty. We all heard Sean Payton on my set at Super Bowl. I want to fall in love. Did he fall in love? I think he did. I think he did fall in love with a quarterback. Which one? We'll see tonight. Denver in play. Vegas also in play. Hard for me to imagine that the 2 teams that miss out on that trade up will be content to just sit there in the middle of the first round, hoping, wishing, praying. Shout out Dionne Warwick, that Penix just falls in their lap. I do think we see, an AFC West-ish team make a small move up into the back end of the top 10 to grab him and ensure that they have a talented, long-term option going forward. So I guess that would mean 5 quarterbacks carry the 5 quarterbacks in the first 10 picks. Slam dunk. I think that's easy. Let's see if that one comes true. Okay, let's talk about the Patriots, right? I think that they will not trade back. I think the Patriots will select a quarterback, and I think that quarterback, I'll say Drake May. Yeah, you read that right. I think it's Drake May with 3rd overall. I'm sure the Patriots have listened to calls for number 3 and explored the possibility of trading out, but how often are you going to pick 3rd in a draft that's this rich at the quarterback position, right? Assuming Caleb goes 1, Jaden Daniels goes 2. I think the Pats snag May at 3. Sorry, JJ. The upside with him is really tough to pass up, I think. I can't see New England going into a year without a young quarterback to build around going forward. Sorry, Zappy. Don't worry, be Zappy. But I think Drake May is their man. Well liked in the building on the visits. I think Gerard Mayo also. That could be a smokescreen. I don't know. I don't know Gerard Mayo's game. Is he just putting that out there? How Games of Thrones is he? Chaos is a ladder. Is he just putting that out there to do something else? I don't know. But that's what I think happens. Prediction number 3, I think the days of like the outrageous Goodell pickup stuff is over. I just think it's the thing of the past. We're more refined at this day and age, aren't we? And these were great. These were great moments. Danny Shelton did it as the 12th pick in 2015. Devin Lloyd did it in 2022. Tyree Wilson, I think, did it last year. It's cool, it's cute, but I feel like we're in like meeting all these draft picks. There was a different crowd here. I feel like in hanging out with so many of them. I think it's like maybe there's this thing, the dap up, whatever you want to call it. But I think there's not one pickup, and that's bold because there's some big boys, there's some big fellas. I think there's not one pickup of Goodell today. Number 4, the Rams trade back, and we go an eighth straight draft without Les Snead making a first-round pick. I'm not convinced. The jig is up, fellas. McVay is going to head into his 8th season. That's actually insane that he's in his 8th season as a head coach without a single first-rounder chosen under his belt. This is the first time since selecting Goff back in 2016 that LA's even held a first-round draft pick, as we all know. F them picks. They want to keep that going. They're in their draft house somewhere in Bel Air doing their thing, like up in Laurel Canyon. They pick 19th tonight. Something just tells me that with the way that Snead and McVay have been so about that. I don't know what the word is for that. About the FM picks thing. Ow. I just think we see them trade back and pick a haul for the future just to keep the gag running. That's what I think. Okay, another bold prediction. I have, who's going to steal the show, right? Is it like Belichick's gone, so that dog's not going to do the thing. And that's a day 2, day 3 thing. I have a really great feeling that Missouri defensive tackle Darius Robinson, friend of Up and Adams show, he steals the show at the draft. He gave us a little taste of that a couple of weeks ago.
I just left New York. I got my suit for the draft, so I'm all set.
What are you wearing? Give me a little, because I know that you like fashion too.
Yeah, it's a little... I'm not trying to give away too much, but just know, your boy might win top dress at the draft. So,
okay, I think he's going to do. And he's from Michigan. It's happening in his backyard, of course. From Detroit, so there's all of that. The good connection, Southfield, Michigan, to be specific. Canton High School graduate. It's going to be a special moment for him. So right now, it looks like it might be a little bit of a wait. And that's just going to fuel the emotion. I think he'll have more people in the crowd than everybody else. Somebody like the Dolphins, happy to inherit him at 21. The Cardinals pick again at 27. The Bills at 28, wouldn't hate that. Maybe they'll grab a wideout. But his hometown Lions, guys, they're at 29, okay? 29 is a landing spot that is realistic for Darius Robinson. I'm crossing my fingers and wishing for the best for him. Okay, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to have a one thing you need to know. We're going to maybe say bye to Hamilton, and we'll be back with more from our prospects that even I haven't seen. They were up to some wizardry in the control room during this whole process. All right. Yep. And I would get the Ayuk thing out there because I think it's... And I think that, yeah, I got to get the Ayuk thing out there. I heard from Hamilton, I heard from Bengals. Let me text you.
Yeah. And yeah, the receiver stuff is going to go out as well. The Ayuk.
I don't think they let Trey go.
Yeah. And it seems like with that statement, you know, he made the trade request, but the other piece of news that Charlie Clifford put out does make it seem like he's still, you know, open to an extension and he wants to be there. But
I think the
it is crazy.
I think the Bengals figure it out. I think it's like, but I think if you're the I don't know. I know I took his side, but also like, why? What do we? Why? But yeah, I don't know how I think about it. Because you could say like, why are you doing this the day before the draft? But it's like, why wouldn't you if you're not getting what you want, right? Like, why are the Bengals letting it get to this?
And that's the question, and it's the same thing with the T. You know, the T situation is it doesn't seem like they're having those conversations proactively, which seems to be upsetting some of these players. But it is tough. You know, you just paid Joe. You're going to have to pay Jamar. That cap is going to be tight.
They're going to be on that list of 11,
decisions.
10 of 11 teams. That's them staring it down the freaking barrel.
Yeah.
What is the lesson? What is the lesson? What is the lesson in this?
It's hard. I mean, you got to strike while you got those rookie windows. That's
they did. I mean, they got there.
And they did. Yeah, they were that close. But it's also, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. You know, you can't pay everybody, and you got to pick the right guys. That's really what it's going to come down to. Are they going to pay the right guys and be able to build up the rest of the roster through the draft?
But you look at San Francisco, and it's like that's the goals, right? Cheap this, cheap that, like.
And then you can pay McCaffrey. Then you can pay Debo. Then you can pay
Bosa. But you lose twice.
Yeah.
Okay. Hammy, I just texted you, babe. I meant name, Hamilton. I didn't text you, babe. I'm sorry. Yes, but I'm more focused on something more important. I am. Sorry. Welcome back to Up and Adams. Today, one thing about Iowa. DB Cooper DeJean. We don't even know. I always have to ask these prospects how to say their name. But I think just as versatile as his last name might be, he's probably the most versatile player in this draft. Now, Cooper DeJean is French for versatile. That's what I'm going to say. And it's all on the offensive side of the ball, but Cooper really can do it all. Listen to this. He can do so many things well that there isn't even a consensus on what position he's going to play in the NFL. So some teams like him at corner, that he, of course, played at Iowa, Big Ten DB of the Year, unanimous All-American. Others see him as a safety because he's super physical, he's got the ball skills. He won the Rogers Dwight Award as the Big Ten's best return specialist this past season, and the Hawkeyes found a way to get him involved on offense as well. Like, when we say this, Swiss Army knife, this, like, it's legit him. I feel like he's kind of flown under the radar because he suffered a season-ending leg injury that always means value, in my opinion. He's healthy now. He showed out at his pro day. I think it's going to be huge value for someone in the first round, whether it's the Packers, the Niners, potentially, the team that's hosting the draft, and the Lions, also a team that likes to win Super Bowls, the Chiefs. Someone that knows how to use him is going to get him, and I'm excited to see how that all shakes out. It has been an incredible run with prospects this year on Up and Adams, thanks to the team, thanks to the FanDuel partnership, and everybody doing all the nitty-gritty on the show to make it. I mean, we had 30 potential draftees on the show over the past, like, several weeks. Unbelievable. So ahead of guys seeing what their dreams come true, we thought we'd give you guys the best of. Good luck, guys. Nate Wiggins is on the show. Make your bed, Nate.
I don't think age is really shown it all in the college level besides being a good thing. I've been in a lot more situations than guys who are a little younger.
They're going to find something that they'll critique. In the meetings, I think teams are more excited just to meet me and get around me, and they know I can make all the throws. And
that's the biggest thing for me, just having the opportunity to be able to, show what I'm made of, and to be successful.
I've been telling her for like 3 months now. I'm like, Mom, we're not going to know until Thursday night. Like, that's just not, we're not going to know anything. And I just keep telling her that. She's like, well, this one said this or this said this. I'm like, Mom, that's what the GM coming out and saying something. It really doesn't matter.
Did you hear that they just shipped Stephon Diggs?
I did. I saw that.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, you know, I've met with them a couple of times. I like their organization, so.
Coach Harbaugh, he went, picked up the phone, and you know, I heard his voice on the other side.
Yeah.
Just know we're gonna go win a Super Bowl, just like we won a Natty.
Teams are very excited about my ceiling. They love the way I'm able to make defenders miss and not allow usually the first person or the second person to tackle me.
You know, I'm just that explosive weapon that, you know, somebody that needs on their team, somebody that can do everything.
When you come to the game, you're going to stay in your head. I don't know what's going to happen today, but Terrion is going to do something amazing.
My production kind of speaks for itself. My film speaks for itself. One of the best route runners in the draft.
I'll say it because I believe in myself. I think I'm as good as anyone in this draft. I think that I can start in the NFL.
Do you put your seat back on the plane?
No, that's such bad karma.
Do you take your shoes off on the plane?
No, I wear Crocs on the plane, so it's like free flowing.
I really believe in staying green like a banana. If you think a green banana is evolving or trying to find its color, then that's gonna lead me to stay on the shelf longer. So just stay green, that's my mindset.
You control what you can. You check the boxes off, go complete your goals, and the rest will handle itself.
What is something that you school your dad on?
Like the way he takes pictures on Instagram. Like, go to emoji. I'm like, Pops, we know you need to go, but you don't have to do that every single time.
What is it like being compared to Aaron Donald? Because that's the one, right?
I mean, it's definitely an honor.
I want to imitate my game after Michael Parsons. Like, I've never seen somebody stop him.
I'm a big Zach Sealer fan from the Dolphins. He's someone whose game, you know, I play very similar to him.
I like to watch Debo a lot. He does what I do. So it's important to watch somebody who really excels at what your job will be.
Iron sharpens iron. Who was that guy for you?
I would say Quay Walker. Our practice was super competitive. And Quay, like, he's a real teammate. He's gonna let you know he cares about you. He's gonna let you know that, you know, it's all love at the end of the day.
Some of these teams, they ask you, you know, who would you bring from your team? And I definitely would say McCarthy is one of those guys because we have a connection on and off the field.
Anybody from Nike sees this, our slogan has to be Mikey like Nike.
You took this around in high school?
It's just a mentality thing. Watching the movie, just seeing his mentality, I want to carry that same mentality on the field.
The advice you would give is don't talk to me because it will wind me up.
The linebackers, they could talk, but them DBs and safeties, man, y'all better relax.
My mentality is this: I'm always going to try to dominate and always win everything.
I worked hard to work on my man separation skills, and you know, it pays off. I'm number one.
I've learned a lot of different playbooks, so I feel like I can pick something up like that really fast when I get to a team.
I feel like the position of offensive line, it's an art. So with that, every year you just perfect your art.
I'm a ferocious runner. I definitely run like I got bills to pay.
Is that Boomy walking around making all that noise in the background? Can I meet Boomy? It's so wholesome. I love it.
You know, this is my boy.
That's your boy, Boomy.
I'm really sitting here watching the show like it's a good show.
Thank you.